How's it going, everyone? Eddie Hates Sorcery Fights here. And today we are going to be talking about a manga. A very popular manga, in fact. It's called Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm sure you've all heard about it. It's a battle shonen manga written by JJK and has been one of the more popular manga out there since its initial release in 2018, as well as its anime debut in 2020. I would also like to bring up that I recently caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen. Finally, after all this time. You're probably wondering, what the hell took you so long? Eddie, you claim to be a professional manga reader person, man. So how have you not read JJK, one of the most popular new gen shonen manga, the next messiah of battle shonens? What the fuck? Well, that's because I did something I normally don't do. I actually waited to see the anime. And while I will say I really did enjoy the anime, I wasn't exactly seeing all the reasons it was getting praised. I obviously knew it was good. So to rephrase it so it doesn't sound like I hate the anime, I found it to be a fun watch, but not necessarily anything I haven't seen before. There wasn't any new, things to grasp onto besides maybe the power system, but even then I hadn't seen the full front of it yet, because obviously I would get it later in the manga. But I still disagree with the notion that you should have to read a manga to have to criticize an anime. I think you should be able to criticize an anime off the anime. And the argument, the manga is better later, I think is dumb. Because when all that manga that hasn't been adapted yet was just the first however many chapters the anime did adapt, you didn't get a bunch of people back then saying, oh, let's continue this manga even if it's not amazing right now, because it could get better in the future. Because I think you should still be able to criticize arcs on their own without the need for future arcs to interfere with that. So yes, while future arcs can help make the story overall better, if I don't like the first arc of a manga or an anime or a book or anything, that should be a fair criticism if I give actual reasons and whatnot. So yeah, overall I think that, the manga is better later, so you can't criticize the anime for what it is now, is a weak argument. Okay, future Eddie here, because I know someone's gonna say this. What if the manga is a lot better and the anime adapted it poorly? That's not what I mean. I mean in similar cases to JJK where the anime adapted it faithfully and wasn't awful. When it comes to the manga being adapted poorly, that's kind of a different scenario, obviously, because it could easily affect how people perceive the story and even the quality of said story. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it really depends on the story. But overall, if the anime is a good adaptation and they don't like the anime, they might not like the manga. Because while yes, the manga may be better later on, if they don't like that first arc, the first arc in that anime should not be free of criticism just because the story gets better later on. I think it's just weird overall. Because people will deflect any criticism by being like, it's better later. It's better later. Why? Just accept that maybe the first arc of your favorite series isn't that great. And this isn't about Jujutsu Kaisen. I think the first arc of Jujutsu Kaisen is pretty great. I'm just saying in general, it's a weird argument. But yeah, I don't know. Let's keep going. But overall, like I was saying, I still did think it was good. I just didn't see why everyone was saying that it's the best new battle shonen series. Because me personally, I'm a Chainsaw Man enjoyer, and I know there's a big little thing between them of which one's better. And I'm not going to answer which one I think is better today because I'm going to piss any fan base off no matter which one I choose. So either way, it's a lose-lose. So that's going to be stuck in my mind on which one I prefer. Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, everyone told me that the manga was where things really popped off. So even though I did have those thoughts about the anime not being exactly what everyone was making me expect it would be, I decided to wait until I read the manga to come up with an overall opinion on the series. But yeah, after the anime aired, I read the Gojo past arc, which I actually really did enjoy, and it made me really start to understand Gojo as a character. As with the anime, I thought he was cool in a chat, obviously. I really liked him, but I kind of just assumed that was all that there was to his character, and would be. After that, I waited months to see the JJK movie, which also was great for Gojo, but gave us insights into some of the Jujutsu High's current second years, introduced us to Yuta Okatsu, who was a character that really drew me in. And no, it's not because he's voiced by Shinji's voice actor. I know that's what a lot of people would probably think, because I'm fucking wearing something of him right now even. I didn't even think of that when I was coordinating this video. I just have this on. But talking about the voice actor, as well of a performance the voice actor gave for Yuta, it did still catch me off guard because while I did expect him to have a more mellow voice, I also did not expect it to be as high-pitched as Shinji's voice actor is. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name. But it doesn't really matter. He gave a good performance, and by the end of the movie, I was insanely intrigued by his character and wanted to see what he would do next. The movie also did well to help you understand Gojo's friendship with Geto and give us more of a look into the tension in the sorcerer world. And then after the movie, it was finally time to read the goddamn manga. I finally caught up with the manga today. And by today, I mean when I wrote the script, which was actually like a month ago. My bad, this video is taking forever to get out. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video to share some thoughts, as I thought you guys might be interested to hear them. I know I usually don't make that many videos on popular manga or anime when I probably should, and that doesn't include my chapter reviews, obviously. But yeah, so here's a popular manga review. Yeah. We'll start off talking about some of the arcs that aren't in the anime yet. Overall, my favorite arcs in this manga, off the top of my head, I'd have to say Shibuya was great. I want to say it's not as masterpiece as I was expecting, but it's still probably the peak of what JJK has to offer so far. I can definitely see why there's so much praise for it, and don't get me wrong, when I say it's not as masterpiece expected levels or whatever, I don't mean it in a bad way necessarily. It's just that my expectations were probably too high. I don't know. I do like to go into things with an open mind, and by that I mean I go into every manga thinking, I'm gonna let this blow my mind. If it does, this could be the best manga I've ever read. Hopefully it's great. I never go into a series with a vendetta hoping it's bad, or really anything. I think that's not a really healthy way to consume fiction. But yeah, I did really enjoy the Shibuya arc because it did give us a lot to love within the arc, as it is the longest arc in the series by quite a margin. It had a lot of cool fight / moments, and honestly, I do think that when I eventually reread the series, it'll go up for me. Maybe it was just, you know how there's some series like that where the first time you read it, you like it, but you're not feeling it like everyone else does, but then you reread it and it just hits sometimes. I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those psychological things where it just didn't hit. Although, I don't know why I'm saying it didn't hit, because it still hit. It just didn't like 10 out of 10 hit. It was like a 9 hit. That's not bad. Like, come on, guys. Don't crucify me, man. Just let me have my opinion in peace. Moving on, I'm liking the Calling Game section of the story so far, and the overall quality of the story doesn't ever dip. I realized while reading it, it just feels like it's getting better and better. But with that said, my favorite arc, and it's extremely biased off of 1 or 2 chapters alone, is the Perfect Preparation arc. And it's really because of Maki. I like Jujutsu Kaisen a lot compared to a lot of other manga. It's not near the top of my personal favorites list of all manga, not necessarily Battle Shonen or even Shonen Jump, but that whole extermination of the Zenin clan section of the arc was some of my favorite shit I've read in a while. Her relationship with Mai was some goated story. I do honestly wish Mai got more screen time or panel time overall before her death, but that's just because I like her. The story itself was fine without her. I just do think the moment probably would have hit harder if I knew more about her or saw her more to get some attachment. But overall, it was still done great, and along with all that, Hakuri's Fight Club being a pretty neat addition to the arc. It probably is my favorite arc in the entire series thus far, but like I said, it's really only because Maki went fucking crazy there, and nothing else have I read in the series so far has made me go like, damn, that was so goddamn good. But there has been a lot that's gotten close, don't get me wrong. And yeah, talking about the Hakuri Fight Club thing, you might be like, why do you even mention that? Because besides Maki's extermination stuff, that wasn't that good in comparison, or even in comparison to Shibuya and other stuff. But I think it kind of helps out with the Perfect Preparation arc because, like I said, it has the dark and crazy, edgy annihilation with Maki, but it balances out with the more upbeat while still being serious part with the whole let's get Hakuri to join us plot. And I know I'm rambling on a bit on my thoughts on this arc, but hear me out. I'm just trying to say that it's a good arc. Yeah, so it's my favorite so far. Ew. But I guess overall I have Shibuya, Gojo Past arc, and the Perfect Preparation arc at the same kind of floating around the #1 spot for me. Because I don't think Perfect Preparation arc is overall my favorite, but those 2 chapters of Maki, 2 or 3 chapters of Maki, are easily my favorite in the series. Shibuya probably has the perfect blend of like crazy shit happening with good plot. Gojo Past arc has good fights as well, but I really more love it for the plot than the fights. Not to say that the plot for Shibuya, for example, is bad either. It's just I prefer the plot elements of Gojo Past arc and stuff. But yeah, overall, those are the 3 that are kind of floating around the #1 spot. I like those 3 arcs a lot for different reasons. I also do want to add that I do think this current arc, the Calling Games, could surpass Shibuya as a clear-cut best arc among the readers of the series, but I can definitely see why it's not there yet, and it would take a lot to beat Shibuya in the minds of everyone, because there, like I said, are a lot of obvious reasons as to why it's regarded as the best arc in the series. Next, I wanted to mention how much I love Jujutsu Kaisen's power system, because while it is more complex than some other shonen and does require a lot of exposition dumps throughout the series, it enhances how much I enjoy the fights, because not only am I seeing cool shit happen in front of me, but it all has reasons as to why it's happening. Therefore, there are hardly any feasible arguments for ass pulls. Pretty much every fight in this series has good explanations that are lacking really good arguments or criticisms against them, and the power system is a huge part of that, obviously. And even though I do love my meathead shit as well, it is nice to have everything be explainable, like I said, and fully understand things. It kind of reminds me of JoJo's in a way, because while, yes, the powers can be complicated at first sight and do require the extra knowledge to understand, and are very specific sometimes, it makes the overall fight a lot more memorable than other series where it's the same old power things or just, very simple things. And yeah, it just makes them a lot more fun. Also, domain expansions are cool as shit. So yeah. Next, let's talk about some of these characters. My favorite character is, drumroll please, it's between 3 characters. And first off, we got Maki. Maki I thought was pretty cool throughout the story, but that was really it. She wasn't even near my favorite front runnings in terms of characters until she lost Mai and went sicko mode against her relatives. Now she's a GOAT in my book and probably my favorite character, but she is battling against these next 2 I'm about to mention for that top spot. Next we got Megumi, and I just love the man. His powers are hella cold, and I like his personality. He's more low-key, secretive, and I love his dynamic with Sukuna and how interested he is in Megumi's potential growth. Overall, I'm extremely excited to see what he does in the future. And yeah, I just overall enjoy his character. The last of the 3 would be Yuta, because not only did I love his character in JJK 0, as I do like his archetype of character, but even after 0, when he matures to a more confident fighter, he continues to add a lot to the story in my opinion. And once again, I just want to see where his growth goes. He went from us first seeing everything from his perspective, but now any new growth in his overall character arc will be viewed from an outside perspective. It's just kind of an interesting thing that I like when you get spin-offs or anything from a character's point of view that you don't normally get, because seeing a character's mind besides the main characters can come with a new appreciation for the character. But yeah, if I had to rank them, Megumi and Maki could go either way for 1 and 2. Yuta would be a pretty close third. It's just that minus 0, there isn't too much in the development and characterization department, but he still has a lot of great moments from my point of view. But yeah, it's very close between the 3, and do not worry, I will still shout out other GOAT characters that I like Gojo, Panda, Yuji, Todo, Mechamaru, or Mekamaru, however you say his name, underrated. I really liked him at the start of Shibuya. Goated. And there's more, but off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. Blue hair girl, I forgot her name, but I do hope she does something in the future, because I do like her, but she's just there. But only so many can be my top 3. And since Yuji is the main character, I might as well do a short section talking about him. I remember when I was watching the anime, I liked him and his meaning within the story, but his character progression went so crazy in the manga. I really love his character now. I think the Shibuya arc really helped with his development, with all the weight of the regret of Sukuna's killings that he has on his shoulders now, and you even see that called back later on, especially in the Calling Games arc against lawyer man person thing. And overall, his character just, yeah, it resonates a lot more now in terms of like, damn, this man's really going through it. Favorite fight is the next thing I wanted to bring up, and this is a really tough one. Itadori versus Mahito was crazy thematic-wise, and it did wonders for my enjoyment of his character arc. The whole I'm you bit went absolutely bonkers. Gojo versus Toji was pretty wacky. I enjoyed that a ton. Both Megumi and Itadori's most recent big fights in the Calling Games were awesome. Seeing Megumi strategize a way to that victory, and even using the fact that his domain expansion is imperfect to his advantage, goated. And speaking of domains, the fight I mentioned with Itadori versus a lawyer person thing man is what I'm calling him, because I didn't write down his name here and I forgot his name. I liked it because it showed that domains aren't all one-hit kills, but rather a means to level the battlefield or tilt it in the user's favor. And that made me appreciate domains more, because it just shows that they evolved over time, kind of like a natural thing that happens in human progression even, and it happened with this power. But yeah, about the fights, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember them all, so that list was just off the top of my head, and I'm probably forgetting a lot, so please forgive me. My fault. To bring up another few parts of the manga before we end the video, I'll mention the art. The art is nowhere near as bad as some people make it out to be, and while I do think the art style works extremely well for this manga, it's not personally my favorite art style ever, but it's still nice art nonetheless, and I really don't see why you'd criticize it, because it's just the man's art style, and it's not like it's awful by any means. I think the pacing in this manga is actually kind of perfect, so no complaints about that. Fights and characters I already mentioned are good, even though I do think some characters are in desperate need of development for me to really care about them. The best girl category in the series is easily Maki. No competition there, really. Best boy, while I do prefer Megumi as a character, Yuta definitely fits the best boy category more, so there you go. And to end it off, I wanted to say that I like the overall lore building up in the series, with all these curses, all these different techniques, and just clan shit, you know, all this other stuff. I'm really starting to like it, and I think it's got some good world building. But yeah, that's the review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do you guys like Jujutsu Kaisen? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the series. Subscribe if you haven't. You know, at the time of recording this, we're close to 2K. I don't know where we'll be by the time this comes out, but subscribe nonetheless, please. Follow the Twitch. I'm going to start streaming there soon, hopefully. Have a great day, and yeah, bye. Peace.
When I'm back on the clock.